Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 87 of Photo Critiques. And in Photo Critiques, people send me in some of their best images, and I critique each shot with suggestions on how they can improve it. And today, I'm pleased to critique the work of Johnny. Johnny sent me in some really nice images. And this first one, yeah, I love this look. I love this haze look and a lot of negative space in the shot. As a matter of fact, there's a scene that I have in my area where I live that's I'm trying to get a shot similar to this, and I keep visiting it quite often because I got to get there when the light is just right to get something like this. And I've yet to get that shot because the light has never been quite right, and I've been trying to get that shot for about a year. And you did a really nice job on this shot. What I could suggest here is we have this rock here. It looks like a rock, and we have a little rock there. I think it's a rock, could be a wave. They're very close to the edge. I love the way you have the horizon at the lower third, and I love where the sun is to the right. It's perfect. This rock being real close to the edge, though, it's making the viewer, when we look at this, we're supposed to kind of gravitate towards the sun, but because this rock is there, and to a lesser extent this one here, it looks like there's actually kind of a wave coming in right there anyways. It's kind of taking us away, distracting us from enjoying the shot as a whole. So what I would suggest, if you could reframe this shot somehow and eliminate these two, then it would be a much stronger image. The other alternative is if a different time of year and the sun is just this low, but it's over here, then you could reframe the image for this rock is closer to the sun. So just imagine now if you took this shot exactly like it was, but this rock was like right here. I think it would be a much stronger image too. So my preference would be that the rocks or waves or whatever this is out of the picture totally. If not possible, then see if you could manipulate the scene enough where you could get the rock closer to the sun, so it's not trying to divide our attention away from where the sun is. This shot, not sure. I know these bridges, and top of my head, I can't remember the bridges, but it's very nice shot. It's a little hazy, like a hazy day. So this would be, I think, a scene where you, if possible, you could revisit. Try to hit it real early in the morning. I think you'd get a more impressive shot, or of course late in the evening, with the sun maybe setting or rising on this end. It would be quite a spectacular shot. I mentioned in previous critiques, if you do have kind of a hazy shot, contrast and clarity will help get that out of your shot if you're so inclined to try to get rid of that haze. So I just added a little contrast and a little clarity, and that's the before and that's the after. Of course, it's much more effective if you're working with a raw image. I'm trying to do a JPEG here. This was shot, I forgot on the previous one to mention, because people like me to mention, this was 1/320th of a second at f/10. I encourage everyone, when you shoot your landscapes, don't stop the lens all the way down to like f/22 or f/32, even some lenses. Do exactly like Johnny did here. f/10's perfect. Somewhere between f/8, f/11 is usually fine. You get more than enough depth of field, and you get a really crisp, clean picture. In this previous shot, it was 1/60th of a second at f/8, so perfect. Very well done. When you're dealing with these really hazy days, and it's hard to really get a good shot of your scene, you could do some things that are a little more unorthodox, and I love what Johnny did here. He took a totally different kind of this obtuse angle at the bridge and processed it in black and white, so it's a real stark image, and I think it's a great job. I really do. So keep that in mind. You're on vacation, you're out shooting or whatever, and you got your camera, but the light just isn't cooperating. It's just a hazy day or something like that. Try these different perspectives, different angles, and then when you process it, try something different, something you haven't done before. And I think this is a great shot. It's a great shot too. Um, I just love the colors, pretty much. You know, just love the colors, the reflective surfaces. I love the way he shot up. Very symmetrical. We have just about equal um, bits of the building on either side, and I think it's just a really, really nice job. Very well done. Very much in focus, even though it was f of 5.6, a little bit more open of an aperture, but we didn't need a lot of depth of field here. We're, you know, pretty flat to it, and I would imagine just by my eyeballing it that Johnny probably focused right around in here or in here, somewhere in here. So it gave the whole scene is very well, very tight focus. It's a nice shot of the dog. The entire dog's in the frame. Remember, I always encourage that. Don't cut off the dog's tail or cut the dog off at the legs. And very well done. Entire dog's in the shot. F at 2.8 at 1/400th of a second. Again, ISO 100. I always encourage people, unless you want some kind of art shot with grain, use as low an ISO as possible in most of your shots. And Johnny's been doing that consistently so far in all these shots. Very well done. The eyes of the dog are in very, very good focus. So it's a very, very nice shot. This shot's even better. It's just really a perfect shot. We have nice contrasts of luminance, the darker surroundings, and the very bright cat. Very well done. Focus is nailed. Just a really, really strong shot. It's 1/640th of a second at f at 2.8. Now, of course, we get limited depth of field at f at 2.8, but we're at 55 millimeters, so you know it's not. We get a little more depth of field because we're at 55 millimeters. If it was 200 millimeters, you'd get limited depth of field. The nose of the cat might be in focus, but the back of the ears won't be in focus. That's how limited it would be. But Johnny did a nice job of controlling his depth of field, and we have this kind of foreground framing that is slightly blurred, and it adds a real nice kind of frame to the cat, and it's a real nice shot. And a nice shot too. Very nice composition. I like everything about it. We get the tree is conveniently leaning away, so it's kind of adding a slight diagonal, which helps lead your eye through the scene. And actually, the young lady too is kind of leaning the other way a little bit. She's leaning back just a bit from the waist up, and it's a really, really nice shot. It's a great composition, and you know, I don't know what else to say. It's just a very, very nice shot. Very well done. A nice shot. You know, you walk around with your camera and you see a flower, take a picture. This was 1/1250th of a second. Very, very fast shutter speed, f at 2.8, so we could try to blur out this background. Now this particular lens doesn't seem to have great bokeh. In bokeh was a, you know, I have to always think when I say that word, because when I started out in photography there was no such word as bokeh, and it's kind of a more modern word, and all that means is the blurry background, and some quality of blur is considered better than some others, and some lenses do it better than others. And this one's okay. In the few, you know, shots I saw previously, you know, it does an okay job. And why you would want the background blurred, it makes the flower stand out better. It doesn't fall into obscurity by blending in with the background. So this lens did a really nice job. It was, you know, did an okay job, and it makes the flower stand out. And again, Johnny nailed the focus. Very sharp right here in the middle, which is typically where you want the flower to be sharp. He shot it straight on, so it's real flat to the image sensor. So the limited depth of field he obtained with the f at 2.8 wasn't so limited that it didn't get all the flower in focus. So that was good. If he even was a little lower or a little higher in shooting the flower on an angle, we would have one side of the flower in focus and the other side out. So shooting it flat on like this, you get the whole thing in focus. So it's really a nice job by Johnny. This shot, you know, kind of a contrasting color. We got the reds and we got greens, and you know, it's one of those shots. I actually took a shot just like this this summer, and you know, a lot of people like it. My wife loved it, and you know, it's to my taste. I didn't think, you know, I did such a great job. And this shot here, it's kind of like some people like it, and some people, you know, it's okay. But you know, it's a nice job. This shot I like too. We have, obviously this beach, and we have these rocks. We got a beautiful, beautiful sky, and the focus is fantastic. Even though it was at f of 2.8, I tell people all the time, don't get all hung up on your aperture about depth of field. Many times with your lenses, especially if you're using a wide angle lens, Johnny shot at 21 millimeters here, you'll get adequate depth of field. Now I would have preferred that Johnny shot this at f8, f11, somewhere in there. The reason why I say that, if you look very closely when I blow it up, these rocks are a little blurry in here, a little blurry. These rocks are in focus, so obviously this was the focal point. So Johnny made sure that he probably focused right here. But these rocks in the foreground are slightly blurry, and the brush over here on the hillside is a little blurry. So I think if he would have shot more at f of 8, f of 11, this would have been much more stunning. It would have been really in tight focus. The whole thing would have been in tight focus. But as it is, it's still an excellent composition, a very nice shot. This is, the typical, path leading down, helps lead your eye through the shot. The only thing I think is missing in this, we have this kind of natural framing of the trees as you go down the path, is we really need our eyes to resolve on something. So I always go to that old analogy, if there was a three-legged dog right here, something unusual usually makes the picture interesting. So, three-legged dog, who knows, something kind of odd. Towards the end of the path. Even if you're walking around, with a friend, have your friend walk down the path and get their shot. If you're walking around with your kids or something, have your kid or kids walk down the path. Just something. I would definitely take this shot as is, though. But I'd like you to. A lot of people seem to be they don't. I don't know. I don't want to say they're scared to have people in their shot, but they're kind of against having someone in their shot. It's a landscape shot. There shouldn't be people in it. Well, definitely take a shot like this without people in it, but don't be shy about putting a person in the shot. Sometimes in some shots it will add scale. If you're near like humongous rocks and things like that, it would add scale. Like this shot here, if there was somebody climbing on the rocks, it would add scale to the rest of the shot. It adds interest, and in this case it would add a focal point. As the person is looking at the shot, their eyes would resolve on the person. I think that's it. Yep, that's it for Johnny. Some really, really nice shots. As you could see, as I was critiquing his shots, I really didn't tell him he did anything wrong. He did really nice shots, very, very sound technically. Just some minor suggestions here and there, but even without my suggestions, all the images stand up very, very well on their own. So thank you for Johnny, for sharing your images with us. I really do appreciate it. And guys, if you have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I got all kinds of photography stuff over there you could check out. Also, if you haven't already, go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.